In yesterday's Oracle Cloud WMS journey session, Rajiv and Kavda walked you through the different capabilities of Oracle Cloud WMS. So building on that foundation, today let us focus on advancing warehouse excellence, where we cover the product roadmap, recent updates, where we cover the product strategy, recent updates, as well as product roadmap for Oracle Cloud WMS. Before we begin, for today's speakers, joining me is Mr. Rajiv Kirani, Senior Director for WMS Product Management, and I am Joel George, Product Strategy for Oracle Cloud WMS. We will be discussing few features which are part of the roadmap, so a brief pause here for you all to go through the safe harbor statement. So a quick look at today's agenda. We will be taking, hopefully if we have time, we will be taking the questions toward the end of the session. Starting off with product strategy. So depending upon the complexity and volume of warehouse transactions, you can basically stratify your warehouse into 5 different levels, starting from a stock room to a basic location to a fully automated warehouse. Now, when I say complexity or volume of transactions, it could be your facility could be handling a large number of items, or it could be that the number of items in a warehouse are lot and serial controlled. Oracle Cloud SCM has inventory as well as warehouse management capabilities that scale to fit all your supply chain levels for your warehouse, be it from level 1 to level 5. Ideally, inventory management is what we suggest for level 1 facilities, which is a stock room. And Oracle Warehouse Management is able to scale up from level 2 to level 5 and is able to support all of your warehouse management transactions. Now, as the maturity level of your warehouse or your supply chain increases, customers start to adopt warehouse workforce management to increase workforce productivity, as well as they opt for warehouse management automation to include automations to their MHEs and robotics. Now, on the strategy for Oracle Cloud Logistics. So it's primarily, we have 4 key pillars, the foundation of our logistics product strategy, which we use for innovation and delivering value. I think you would have seen these same slides for OTM, so it's consistent across the logistics product. The first one being disruptive technology, where we speak about predictive AI and ML, as well as logistics AI agents or robotics. Coming to user experience and extensibility, it is the Redwood UX and microservices that are part of it. Coming to functional innovation, it is the SCM convergence and features related to warehouse automation. And when I speak about customer driven, it's always the ideal labs. The vast majority of customers from different industries contribute a lot towards creating ideas. We evaluate them and bring into the feature. On a high level, we have added around 130 new features across these 4 different pillars. For example, the first one, disruptive technology, GenAI Intelligent Wave Summary, which came in 25D. If you look at the user experience and extensibility, we have had the Redwood UX for both WMS UI as well as WMS Mobile. Functional innovation, you can speak about the SCM reconciliation workbench that was released back, as well as a few predefined integrations with both SCM as well as OTM. Coming to customer-driven, it's serialization control at the item level, or it could be a just-in-time replenishment based upon movement request. Now, so this is more a high-level overview of some of the capabilities that are part of Oracle Cloud WMS. So we support all your inbound inventory and outbound transactions. When I say about inbound, it could start from a yard check-in to cross-docking or receiving and put away to a storage location. And when I speak about inventory transactions, it could be your reslotting, your cycle counting, or any kind of internal movements based upon movement request. And for outbound transactions, we support the waiving and allocation, picking, packing, and shipping. We also have a few predefined integrations with Fusion SCM and OTM, which help you to get started quickly if you are a Fusion Suite customer. And we also have APIs available for inbuilt integrations with MHEs and automation. Now, I spoke about the different pre-built integrations that are available with Fusion SCM and OTM. So this is a summary slide of what integrations are available, which are predefined integrations. and which are part of the OIC Gen 3 recipes. So coming to the receipt advice confirmation, it supports your inbound orders to WMS, be it a purchase order, a ASN, it could be a customer returns, or even a transfer order. So when I speak about the flow, it starts with the purchase order. For example, in case of a purchase order, the flow starts with the purchase order getting created in purchasing. It flows via inventory to WMS, where the order is created. And once the warehouse user receives and puts away the inventory to the storage location, we send the updates back to inventory and as well as update the PO quantity in purchasing. Now, the second one is a shipment request confirmation, which is applicable for your outbound orders, be it a sales order, a transfer order, or even a return to vendor transaction, right? So with this flow, in case of a sales order, it starts with the order creation in Fusion Order Management, and the orders come via inventory managed to WMS. And once the user waives, allocates, picks, packs, and ships it, we send the updates to inventory management to update the on-hand quantity there, as well as update the sales order quantity in Fusion Order Management. Coming to inventory transactions, it could be any of the inventory adjustments or cycle count transactions that originate in WMS and flows back to inventory management by the inventory transactions integration. Coming to manufacturing, maintenance, service logistics, so we have been having a few predefined integrations along the past releases. So it supports the work order picking request as well as direct work order transactions. So when I say about the manufacturing flow, it originates with the work order creation in Fusion Manufacturing. So as the work order gets released, it creates a movement request in inventory management, and that movement request lines are integrated to WMS. So now, once the movement request is there, the user, the receiver or the picker does picking and packing, or basically does the pick confirm for the movement request, and we send back the pick confirmation back to inventory, which updates the movement request there, as well as the work order the work order in manufacturing. So it also covers both the pick and move as well as the pick and issue scenario. Now, on the work order, you mentioned about the first part where you pick the materials for your work order transaction. The second part is your operation completion in your manufacturing, or it could be a material issue. So those transactions are covered via the direct work order transactions, wherein as and when you do the operation completion, we send back the inventory updates to WMS so that the on-hand quantities are in sync between Fusion and WMS. Now, the next interesting topic is on the transportation management, which quite a few would be looking forward to. So we cover both the planned orders as well as parcel flow. So when I say planned orders, it covers both the LTL, TL, as well as the parcel flow to OTM, and then the shipment actuals. So when I speak about this flow, it starts with orders are created in WMS, orders are created in OTM. Now you do the bulk planning in OTM, your shipments are generated. So we use that shipment plan to update the load number in on WMS against the order. So we have a link between the order and the shipment in OTM. So after that, the second part is the waiving and allocation part in WMS, where you waive it, allocate it, again pick and pack and ship. So once you ship it, we send back the actual shipments back to OTM so that the actual shipped quantities are updated in your OTM. The next interesting feature was on the SCM reconciliation workbench. So especially if you're a Fusion customer, this is actually a very helpful feature, wherein it helps you to reconcile your inventory with Fusion inventory. So there's some more that Rajiv would be speaking about in the recent update section. So I spoke about integration with WMS warehouse automation features. So we have core APIs that are available to integrate with different kind of warehouse equipments, be it an AGV, a tilt sorter, or a ASRS, even a drone or autonomous pick carts. Now, we saw the few of the capabilities and the integration capabilities that were part of Oracle WMS. Now, coming to the Gartner Magic Quadrant, we have been a leader for 10 years in a row. We have been positioned in the leaders quadrant. So how this Gartner evaluates different vendors who provide warehouse management solutions based upon the completeness of vision and the ability to execute. So we've been positioned in the leaders quadrant, so that's a good thing to be there, and 10th consecutive time. So the strategy session won't be complete, without speaking about AI. So again, when I say the slides you would have seen in OTM session, because it basically conveys the meaning that we are in sync with the logistic strategy, right? So the promise of AI, three things. One is productivity and efficiency breakthroughs. So automating your repetitive tasks so that you can save on a manual effort, reducing manual interventions, etc., and optimizing your decisions. When it comes to enormous potential for business growth, so AI helps you with new avenues for growth by enabling with faster fulfillment or faster decision makings, so thereby enabling your throughput. Now, solutions to previously unsolvable challenges. So data crunching is probably a key strength of AI, I would say. So if you had to analyze millions of transactions, for example, in case of predictive outcome, right, you have to analyze millions of transactions. So all this becomes possible with the promise of AI. So three different flavors of AI. So this is important because when I speak about some roadmap items which are related to AI, so that's why probably you could connect to those. So three flavors of AI. One is the predictive AI. So I spoke about in the previous slide about predictive outcomes where you analyze millions of transactions. For example, detecting anomalies or providing recommendations. When it comes to generative AI, it basically creates new contents based upon your prompts. So the 25D feature is of intelligent wave summary is a key example of the Gen AI feature. And coming to AI agents, it basically helps you to answer complex questions, delivering guidance and completing tasks in context of a process. So product strategy for AI roadmap. Now, when it comes to this, before moving on to the next slide, I just want to mention about the key, just give a background into how we have come up with these use cases. So we have basically considered four key personas in a warehouse, be it the receiving agent, the shipping agent, the inventory manager, and as well as the supervisor. So these are like kind of unique operational roles within the warehouse. And we have also basically subdivided for each persona their daily activities so that we can design AI or AI agents so that actually goes in hand in with your employees or warehouse personas. So the first one is receiving agent. So you can see that his daily tasks are primarily into scheduling his inbound tasks, then cross-docking, receiving, and put away, as well as the inspection of your received goods. Now, when it comes to the scheduling part, it's the ASN creation assistant that I want to focus on, which is nothing but, so if I speak from the terms of parlance of an OTM perspective, right? So normally your shipments would be having a bill of lading. So especially when it comes to unexpected shipments into your warehouse, you would not have an ASN in the WMS. So normally what the user would do is they would read through the bill of lading, they would manually go ahead and create an ASN, punch in the PO, punch in the quantities, punch in the item, etc. So there are chances of, one is the manual effort, there's the chances of error, it's error prone, literally. So what the ASN creation assistant helps you is to, take out the details from the bill of lading and automatically help you with creating an ASN creation assistant, bypassing the manual processes. Now, one thing I also want to cover was the legends that is on the bottom of the screen. I hope it's visible. So it's predictive, Gen AI, and AI agent, the three flavors that I covered in the earlier slide. Now, coming to the receiving summary generator. So it is a Gen AI feature again. So what it does, or what the plan is to have. So one thing to be noted is these are all roadmap items, and I called out the safe harbor statement earlier. So receiving summary generator, which basically summarizes the received quantity against your ASN or a PO. So you could do that prior to receiving an ASN, just to get the feel of what you're planning to receive into your warehouse, or it could be a summary of what was actually received into your warehouse. We also have a vendor QC summary assistant in plans, which basically summarizes your whole vendor QC that you have executed in the warehouse. Next one is on the dock management assistant. So it helps you to quickly check in and check out your inbound shipments and suggest the optimal dock dose. So in case of a larger facility with multiple dock doses, it is a very tedious task to maintain your dock dose and keep up with your appointments. So this one is basically recommends which shipments to receive and in which priority, so that you are able to meet your SLAs. So key benefits include optimizing the inbound operations, maintaining efficient dock scheduling, reducing the congestion, and improving dock to stock time. The second persona I spoke about is the shipping agent or the logistics coordinator. So again, his key tasks or key daily activities could be spread across waiving and tasking, picking and packing, loading, and shipping. On the wave and task, we have the intelligent wave summary feature that's already released. Then wave research, I'll come to the wave research advisor in the next slide. And orders at risk advisor. So this basically helps you to highlight which orders are at risk of at risk of not meeting your SLAs. So it helps you to find those orders and reprioritize those orders so you're actually meeting or you're keeping your SLAs. Shipment summary generator is the next one. Again, a Gen AI use case. It's similar to the receiving summary generator, but in case of an outbound shipment, right? So this helps you to generate a shipment of what was actually shipped out from the warehouse against the sales orders or the load numbers. Now coming to the wave research advisor. So those of you who are using WMS can understand that you have a lot of rules in the wave templates that you can set up. And there are sometimes it's an iterative process, right? You improve your wave templates over time. So, and there are different allocation strategies that you can combine into a wave. So this basically helps you to quickly and easily identify issues related to your wave releases or allocations or inventory availability. So it summarizes what happened with a specific wave, why did it, in case there are potential issues, it highlights that, and what could actually improve in future, so that you are able to seamlessly allocate your on-hand inventory against your outbound orders. So that results in faster resolution, smarter waiving, and proactive inventory planning and improved order fulfillment. The third one is the inventory manager or controller in the warehouse. So when I mentioned this, the three key activities that the user does is he helps maintain the inventory accuracy within the warehouse. He investigates the discrepancies, and he tries to optimize and reconciles his inventory. The first one that I want to cover is the pending cycle count summary generator. So it basically gives you a brief overview of what cycle counts are pending in your current system, so that it's how much of inventory is tied up to the cycle counting process, right? Next one, I spoke about the SCM reconciliation workbench, which will also be covered in the recent update section. So we also have plans to have it as an agent team, which is basically, so when I speak about agent team, it's basically a multitude of agents working in tandem as part of the agent team, so that you are able to achieve a broader set of tasks. So the SCM reconciliation agent team. So it helps you to reconcile your on-hand inventory with WMS as well as with the inventory. So through this, you'll also have an option to, the plans also have the option to reconcile directly your on-hand inventory in Fusion inventory as well. Now, coming back to the first one, which is the recall assistant, or rather the expiry and recall assistant. So it helps in managing recalls and handling expired or expiring inventory. So in case probably, if it's a CPG industry, or even probably retail to some extent, how expiry is one important feature for them, right? So it helps you to guide users through compliant movement requests, apply lock codes, or provide proactive recommendations. So it helps to ensure that you have a better smart recall management process, reduce compliance risk, especially in case of expired items or near to expiring items, and improved operational efficiency when handling these. Last persona that I want to cover is the supervisor in the warehouse. So his key tasks are broken down into being part of the warehouse performance, resource utilization, analyzing issues and variances, as well as continuous improvement. So when I speak of the warehouse performance, first one is the operations summary generator. So it basically helps you to get a summary of what transactions happened in a warehouse today. For example, how much of the shipments were received into the warehouse, how much of shipments were shipped out from the warehouse, or be it how many cycle counts were even executed in your warehouse, right? The next one, probably I'll speak about, is the task management assistant. So you would have faced scenarios in a warehouse where there is a priority order, and then you need to fulfill it fast. But your employees or your warehouse workforce are already working on few other tasks. So now, how do you want to dynamically reprioritize those tasks? So this is something which is in the plans to help you with dynamically reprioritizing those tasks, so that again, it's coming back to your SLA, so that you are able to meet those SLAs, right? So it helps with faster insight and decision making, shorter cycle times, as well as increased warehouse throughput and more streamlined order fulfillment. So the ones that I covered are part of the roadmap. Now we'll see what are the current capabilities that are part of AI that we already have in Oracle Cloud WMS. First one is also AI/ML predictive fulfillment dashboard. It's again tied to your SLAs, so that it basically looks at your history of orders, order cycle times, and it helps you to analyze or gives inputs on orders which are probably going to not meet your SLA. And using this feedback, you can actually manually reprioritize the tasks so that you are in compliance of SLA. Next one is the AI/ML dynamic slotting. So when I mention about dynamic slotting, I have to first speak about market basket analysis. So market basket analysis is nothing but if you're ordering some few items together, if you look at a basket, right? Basket of items that you go to a grocery store, or even your e-commerce cart. For example, when you order a new mobile, you probably would order a new mobile phone cover as well. So those are market basket items, which are items which are frequently ordered together. So through this AI/ML dynamic slotting, we help you to co-locate these items together so that it helps you with your order cycle time, reduce your picking time, etc. Now, you can also combine multiple put-away methods to create a robust dynamic slotting. So be it you can combine with your item velocity. Item velocity is nothing but how frequently, basically the churn of items from a warehouse, or how frequently you're shipping the items from a warehouse. So you can combine with item velocity or even with your expiry date. Next one is predicting locations for cycle count using AI/ML. So this again is a predictive feature. So it needs to have your previous cycle count data. So what this feature looks at is you have to train the model first, but what it does is it helps you to, or it looks at your previous cycle count data, analyzes it, and predicts which locations are prone to more cycle counting, and helps you with creating cycle count tasks for those locations. So again, it's a prediction model, and it creates cycle count tasks so that you automatically ensure best inventory accuracy within your warehouse system. I spoke about this a couple of times earlier, which is the Gen AI Intelligent Wave Summary, which is a 25D feature. So it helps you to analyze your wave performance, be it, it gives you a summary of the wave run, whether it completed or whether it failed, and whether it is a replenishment wave. It gives you the key wave execution summary as well as the key metrics and probable causes of failure. So in this, you will have to take manual action after going through this to rectify your wave or wave configuration. Yeah, for the recent updates, I'll hand over to Rajiv.
Exciting features coming up. Let's see, now let's go through some of what we have done recently in the past year or so. We saw this slide a few minutes back, Joel showcased this, but trying to reiterate this once again. We do 4 releases across the year, and we have covered close to 130 to 140 features over the course of the 4 releases. Majority of these features do come from your inputs, like Idea Labs, which we have been reiterating, and also the customer community feedback, and also the partner community feedback. I would say that roughly 40 to 50% of the features that are gone in the last year or so are based upon the feedback coming from the customers, and some of you might have voted for these ideas in the Idea Labs. So in the next few minutes, I'll try to take a quick sneak peek There are quite a few cloud customer connect sessions that have happened. It will be difficult to cover each one of this in the allotted time. But let's take a quick sneak peek on some of the features. We have handpicked few of them. So Redwood Mobile. So this has been a talking point for us in the last year, a couple of years or so. So in the by year and a half, we migrated all the features of whatever is there in the SSH mobile onto Redwood. And we have been adding more onto the Redwood mobile, right? So let's see what we have done in the last year or so, since we migrated the SSH functionality onto Redwood mobile. So first one is the date format entry. Date we capture dates like manufacturing dates and expiry date on the mobile, right? The operators do capture those dates. So the date entry format has been made more user friendly. The touch-based navigation, it's now easier to hop between the fields without using keyboard, so you can use a touch screen. The touch-based navigation has been improved. And there was some feedback about the early adopters feedback with respect to the time the Redwood mobile is taking with respect to scanning. And that has been handled as part of the scan processing. So next leg of our journey was to enable, to empower customers with so some of you might have built some pass extensions on the screens, right? So how with Redwood Mobile, how we can provide that. So in the last release, 25D, we have enabled customers and partner community to be able to change the screen layouts, right? So we have exposed an API where the users can get the JSON representation of the screens. So it's basically the JSON representation gives you the list of data elements that are part of the screen, and it's up to the partner community to have a CSS based. You can use any kind of technology to improve the user experience, and that will get seamlessly integrated into our mobile applications. So next feature that we saw, the next feature that we added in Redwood Mobile that we saw, got a glimpse of it in yesterday's presentation, was the image capture in using Redwood Mobile. So the two main transactions that we have added for capturing the image are receiving and loading. So that happens inline. The beauty about this is it happens inline. The operator does not have to come out of the transactions and take the images, right? So user is performing the receiving transaction, so they can take the image of the LPN used for traceability purposes. And similarly, when the LPNs are going out of the warehouse, the loading operator can capture the images of the LPNs. So by the way, the images can be captured not only for the LPNs, but also for the pilots. You can do pilot-based receiving or pilot-based loading as well, right? So we also support capturing the images of both inbound pilots and also outbound pilots. So apart from that, so there are sometimes in the receiving operator, while receiving, you might want to capture the photo of the bill of lading or the GRN document that are coming in. So there's a hotkey for the receiving operator to capture some of these GRN documents. So that's with respect to Redwood Mobile. Moving on to another good feature that we have added in the last year or so is the improvements to the pilot-based put-away. So we have added the pilot-based put-away was there as part of the product, but we have added more capabilities to the pilot-based put-away. So earlier, the user had to take the whole pilot to one location. So now that restriction has been broken now, and now the user can take the pilot to multiple locations. The contents of the pilot can go to one or more locations. That's the beauty about this feature right now. So it reduces travel time and the faster dock-to-stock cycle time. Another important thing is you can capture positions of the pilot. So when you're when you're building the pilots, you can capture the positions of the pilot, positions of the LPN that is placed on the pilot, right? Now, what happens is whatever heavier items that you are placing at the bottom of the pilot, that can go to the locations at the last. So basically, you can do the consumption of the inventory on the pilot in the LIFO manner, the last in, first out. Yeah. So the next one is the warehouse automation-driven cycle counting. So lot of implementations are adopting MHE to improve the fulfillment cycles, right? So now with in such warehouses, how do we do cycle countings? We didn't want to be left behind with respect to with respect to this capability. So Joel showed us a slide where we can, where majority of the operations like picking operations, replenishment operations, receiving can all be done through MHE. And the missing piece was the missing piece in the puzzle was the cycle counting, right? So the practical use cases are ASRS systems are there. How do we do cycle counting with? How do we capture a cycle count that are done by SRS? Or also the warehouses are also trying to adopt drones for using cycle counting, especially for the high bay areas where the LPNs where it's very difficult for the operators to reach the locations and do the cycle counting. So we have added these capabilities. So how it's done is a quick summary is the cycle count tasks are created in WMS itself. That is still WMS capability. Just like how we send picking information to the MHE, we also send tasking information to cycle count task information to the WCS systems. Now the WCS systems can consume that output and they can send the cycle counting information to WMS. We have exposed APIs to take the cycle counting information and perform the real-time updates, right? So one thing is it's supported for both active and reserve locations. Just to note that it supports for both active and reserve locations. Yeah. So one more improvement that we have done in cycle counting is we have added a lot of flexibility and features with respect to item-driven cycle counting. So this is just a brief summary of what we have done in the last year or so. So traditionally, we always used to do cycle counting at a location level, right? So now with multi-SKU locations being kind of a rule on the locations because the warehouse locations are at the premium, there's a capital investment involved. So you want to ensure that multiple items are getting stored in one location so that you are not increasing your capital cost. But in such scenarios, I want to cycle count only certain items based upon ABC classification. The class A items I want to cycle count faster and class B items I want to cycle count with a lesser frequency. And you don't want to penalize the user by going to the location and cycle counting the whole location, right? So that's where the item-driven cycle counting comes into play, where you can create a task for a location and pick up only certain SKUs in the location to perform cycle counting, right? So it supports for both active and reserve location types. So this will be useful for locations where it is quite heavy with respect to large number of SKUs. And this also, with this feature, we also added the ability to cycle count simultaneously two different, even though there is a pending count for a particular SKU, the user can go and pick up a different SKU and still complete the cycle counting. So that restriction is also removed. And a couple of other nifty features that we have added with respect to item-driven cycle counting is, there are always exceptions in the warehouse while you are doing picking. When the picker goes to the location, they might not find the anticipated inventory or anticipated LPNs in the corresponding locations. So when such thing happens, today we were up until this feature was released, we all know that there's a trigger in WMS to create cycle count tasks. That was creating cycle count tasks for the whole location. Even though the picking is happening for a particular SKU, the user we were penalizing the users to go and cycle count the whole location. Now with this feature, we can create targeted cycle counts only for the SKUs which were impacted. Right? So that's another nifty feature that we added. And also item-specific cycle counts when the count is rejected. So when you go to the cycle count adjustment screens, where the operators are trying to approve the cycle count, you can go ahead and when you reject the SKU-based counting, it will create the same kind of task right now. That's with respect to item-driven cycle counting. Let's move on. Control serialization at the item level. So we are seeing a lot of adoptions with respect to the serial tracking items. So the flexibility that we have provided over the course of last year is being able to track serials at the item level. We had ability to say whether the item is serial tracked or not at the item level, and also how do you want to track serials, right? So whether you want to track the serials end to end or during packing only. That was a global configuration. Now the flexibility has been added at the item level. Examples like, for example, laptops, you want to do an end-to-end tracking, and our chargers or sensors, like you want to only use it for the warranty purposes, you want to track serials only at the during outbound operations, right? So that way the, the productivity is higher for the inbound operations when you are dealing with chargers or sensors. So now the flexibility is more at the item level right now on how do you want to track the serials, either at the either end to end or you can do it at the outbound only. Yeah. So next one we'll talk about the reslotting workbench. So we have quite a few good capabilities with respect to put away. We saw the multi-LPN mode put away. We use the location-based, the capacity-based determination of the locations. And we also use quite a few advanced algorithms with respect to put away, like radial put away. We handle put away to dynamic or permanent dedicated locations. And we also added the market basket analysis, which you all showed right now. But that's with respect to put away. But once the inventory is there in the locations, as we saw, there's always a dynamism associated to the warehouse, right? So the things will not be static. So there are seasonality changes, SKUs which are present in a particular locations. You might want to reshuffle and bring it to the different locations so that your picking efficiencies are increased. That's where reslotting workbench comes into play. So we have a redwood screen which will show you the mismatches. So basically it works on two aspects. The velocity code, which will give you the how frequently the particular SKUs are ordered. So you have velocity code at the item facility level. And we also have a new column called location ranking. So these are the two aspects that the reslotting workbench mainly works on. So you have two different tabs that you see at the top, the reserve and active. So it works for both reserve locations and active locations. And the bar chart at the right gives you the mismatches. It is telling the operator that E locations, how there are mismatches with respect to the locations and then the items. Your A class items, you want to place it in the locations of A class. Typically, you rank the locations based upon the golden zones, right? So the locations which are closest to the outbound area, you want to classify it as A ranking locations, and locations which are slightly far off from the outbound dock doors, you want to classify it as the B ranking or lower locations. So the bar charts here are representing how your items are stacked. Whether the A ranking locations are having A class items, right? So, and it's telling you the mismatches. So apart from telling the mismatches, the other important thing is it is giving the flexibility for the operator to create the movement request from here. So now one thing is to show the discrepancies with respect to the A class, with respect to the item mismatches on the location. But then what is the next action that the operators have to take? The next option is from the same screen itself, the supervisor or the operator can create movement requests. The data grid is telling you that the data is telling you the items, and then is it containing a class item or a B class item, and also the location ranking, right? So if you find a mismatches, the user can multi-select the rows here and then create a movement request. So that helps you in reshuffling the inventory, right? So that is the first pass that we have done as part of the reslotting workbench here. You will see more to it in the coming releases because we want to add some AML capabilities with respect to how the items are ranked. Today the velocity codes on the item are being you can input the velocity code on the items either through item interface or through the item UI. So a little bit of a manual approach, but in the future releases you will see the velocity code of the item getting computed based upon the insights. That's with respect to reslotting workbench. So next one, from a workforce management standpoint, we have added employee travel metrics dashboard. So this is a quite nifty dashboard that has been added, which will basically give the travel time that the user has taken, and it's the first chart is the scatter chart where it is showcasing the time taken. It is showing the top 10 activities which are taking a lot of time with respect to the users also, right? So the x-axis is showing the travel time in minutes, and the y-axis is showing the total number of locations that the user has visited, right? And also the chart, to the right side, you also have the bar charts which are telling you the top 10 visited locations, and also the top 10 employees with the most visited locations. So it gives you an indicator of the operators. Yesterday we saw how the supervisor and the managers could see what are the most visited locations and how much time it has taken, right, from a travel standpoint. So the next feature that we have been speaking about is the SCM reconciliation workbench. So this is a very important feature that we have released as part of the last year or so. So starting from 25C. So it's a unified dashboard which will give you the list of errors across different entities, right? So now you see a lot of deals with respect to WMS and then Fusion ERP. Mind you that this works with Fusion ERP. There are quite a few. It's a busy screen, but it's a workbench screen where it's a single stop shop where the operators can come and see how the errors are getting. Are there any errors with respect to different integration touch points? The top portion, the top tiles, there are 7 tiles there, so which will give you the errors with respect to different integration workbenches, right? The first one is the receipt advice, receipt confirmation, manufacturing movement request, shipment confirmation. So when you select each of these tiles, it shows you the pertinent information on the data grid and also the bar charts and also the line graphs here. So using a single screen, the users can see where their errors are coming up by integration touch points. Apart from this, there is a link to OIC and also you see the 2 links, OIC errors and also the ERP inventory transaction. With this, the users can go to the OIC application and see how the errors are being shown, and also there is a deep link to the ERP inventory transaction. So this is a route to find out are there any errors in the integrations, right? So there could be multiple reasons why the errors could occur on the OIC or on the WMS side or on the ERP side. So it becomes this becomes like a one-stop screen to see all the errors in one place. Otherwise, the users had to navigate to WMS screens and Fusion applications and OIC to figure out what the errors are, right? So now it's easy and one-stop shop. So the next one with respect to SCM reconciliation workbench is in terms of the reconciling inventory summary from ERP. So there are 2 aspects to it. One is the summarization of the error screen that we saw, and second one is the reconciling the inventory summary from the ERP standpoint. So we have added a new interface where we can get the inventory from the ERP, and we can also generate a WMS inventory snapshot. These 2 will be meshed together, and we give the discrepancy overview between WMS and ERP. So this currently works with WMS and Fusion inventory backend. In the next few releases, we need to make some minor tweaks so that the inventory reconciliation workbench can also work with other ERP systems as well. So this becomes very important because a lot of you might struggle getting the inventory from the ERP and then inventory from WMS and reconciling, right? So this is one of the key activities that happens in any WMS implementations, and this becomes a very handy feature for you all to explore. Before I hand it over to Joel, very important, I want to sign off by saying that there's 2 important dates that we all need to note of. So it's a reminder on the Redwood Mobile. So starting in January 2026, new customers will not be offered SSH-based RF. Redwood Mobile would be the replacement. So as we saw at the beginning of the presentation that we have migrated all the features of SSH-based functionality into Redwood Mobile. So you can easily adopt the Redwood Mobile features now. And while we are speaking, any new implementations that are happening, we are encouraging to use Redwood Mobile right from the beginning of the implementation. And we are also providing some timeline for existing customers who are also already using SSH-based RF for a further year, right? So starting January 2027, the SSH-based RF will be end of life, and the existing customers will have to go towards using the Redwood Mobile. So just a few dates to keep in mind so that you guys work through and then adopt the journey of Redwood Mobile and then handle and then reap the benefits of the new features that we are adding for Redwood Mobile. Right, and also the cohort January 2027, April 2027, these are the cohort customers. So please do keep this in mind. We have told this in quite a couple of cloud customer connect sessions, but it's very important for us to reiterate again as we are all here. So with this, I'll hand it over to Joel to go through the 3-column roadmap.
Thank you, Rajiv, for your insights into the recent updates. So we'll cover some more items on the roadmap. So as you can see, this is basically divided into 3 columns. One is the current update 25D. The second is the upcoming, which is mostly the next 2 release items, which would be highlighted, which are part of the roadmap. And future is anything beyond that. So I want to highlight a few items from the upcoming column. So we already see the AI agent Babe Research Advisor, which is part of the roadmap. The next one is, as we have more customers onboarding SCM and OTM, we need to enable seamless integration with the Fusion as well as OTM customers. So we keep on investing into predefined integration. So as you can see, the direct item procurement and outside processing, I think outside processing, Niranjan mentioned in his earlier presentation. So those are key manufacturing workflows, direct item procurement, wherein you procure specific items for your manufacturing, or outside processing where you send your items for specific jobs, for example, a paint job, to a different vendor and bring it back into a warehouse. And then the support for intra-org transfer order. I already covered the task management assistant, the expiry and recall assistant, doc management, so you can probably see it in the upcoming releases. As we again become in sync with Fusion, we have support for intra-class unit of measures, which are item specific. Further enhancements to your Redwood Mobile, your SCM reconciliation workbench, as Rajiv was mentioning. Few enhancements to WFM so that as you mature in your warehouse, you ensure the warehouse productivity as well, which is related to your dashboard with additional metrics, as well as employee calculated travel time. So the future path is to help you optimize your employees' travel time. You also have further enhancements to yard check-in, check-out for trailers. Coming to the future one, I showed you the various AI or AI agents which are part of the roadmap. So we will continue to invest in additional AI agents as well as dual unit of measure. So that is a key feature that are that's specific for Fusion customers. Again, continue to invest in WFM with including productivity enhancements. Continuous investment into predefined integrations as well for items, suppliers, and also the manufacturing integrations, which is the work order movement request and quality integrations. Next 2 things which are specific to OTM is the support for predefined integration for multi-leg shipment as well as the OB-LPN information to OTM. So I'll just briefly say, so in case of multi-leg shipments which happen, for example, if you ship from A to C via B, that's not currently supported in WMS, so we have plans to have a predefined integration with OTM to support that flow. And the second one is the OB-LPN information to OTM for just-in-time load planning. So the current behavior is OTM does the planning, it comes to WMS, we packs, and ships that and updates OTM. Now, what if you want to plan or do the initial planning from WMS? So you have you create the OB-LPNs in WMS. You can utilize that information to send it to OTM. OTM will use that OB-LPN information to do the shipment planning, and then we get the load number or the shipment number back to WMS, and then we do the actual shipment flow. Further enhancements to reslotting workbench, whereas automation and expansion to yard management capabilities as well as pallet handling. So that's all on the roadmap. Few things to keep in mind is also the idea lab, which we continuously monitor for key ideas from customers and customer interest on the ideas. So we spoke about the AI agents which are on the roadmap. I know some of these scenarios probably that are valid for your industry may not be covered, So do log in your ideas on AI agents, or any of the key features that you think are on the WMS, but probably from an industry standpoint, so that other customers can also review, analyze, and evaluate your ideas and vote on them.
At least once in 2 months we get
Yeah, that's all we had. I think we are well ahead of time. So